Hello, I'm Sara Villarreal, and I work in the special effects industry here in LA for a company called Studio Gillis. We are in a warehouse that primarily builds practical effects. We do a lot of creature design and also a lot of makeups. We do a lot of animatronics, which might be our specialty here. Some of the films that we are most famous for over the years is Tremors, all the Alien films, the Predator films, Jumanji, and Bright, the Maze Runner films, It, Annabelle, Point Break. We did a snake mechanism for the movie Prey. That we have a series of discs in with wires running through it. And as you control and pull, push and pull, you'll get the movement of the snake. We've used that same mechanism in various other creatures. It's called the tentacle mechanism. We have one we get it a lot for like head movements, and if you're doing animal or creature that is sitting and you can't be near it, it really helps add that life back into the creature. We have the mask from Point Break, which was actually filmed back in the 90s, but some of the things that have been happening over the years is preservation of, movie objects like latex and foam. They don't last very long. So we've been doing scans and prints so that way we could still have, the exact copy, but we know it's going to be more resistant to, any sort of damage. We have a lot of alien pieces on display. This is the alien embryo. This was a concept from the Neil Blomkamp Alien that we had worked on. We have Maze Runner. We have this Goro that was printed. This baby started off as a print. It's for the TV show, the Amazon TV show, I'm a Virgo. We printed many of the items and then molded them. A lot of parts of Cootie were originally printed and then redetailed later. This baby, which is in the opening shot of the show, started as a 3D print, and he just has a little bit of movement. And he grew up to be Big Cootie, who all started off with the hands were printed and then details. His head the size was printed and gone back, but there's things like his teeth that we printed and added in. And it definitely gave us like a really good base for starting a project, especially something so big. 3D printing makes my life easier. For one thing, we could do rapid prototyping, which before, if you wanted animatronic components to all fit together, we were waiting for somebody to get on the lathe or get on the mill and get those pieces, see if they work, and then start over again repeatedly. And now with designing digitally and rapid prototyping, we're getting to those spaces so much quicker than before. We've also, we have a lot of actors or actresses who can't always find the time to come down to the studio, come all the way down to the valley and get life casts done or fittings done. So now that we have 3D scanning and 3D printing, we're able to, from all the different parts of the world, get exact replicas of actors and work from very precise measurements and know that we're gonna have something that works for us every single time. Here we print a lot of different things. Most recently, we've been doing a lot of commercials that are print to paint is what we kind of call the pipeline. Usually a lot of these commercials are done in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So just doing it that way has really saved a lot of time. But we print a lot of mechanics lately. We've switched over from doing fiberglass cores and metal parts to doing mostly all 3D printed heads. And it's been kind of a game changer. It has saved with, again, like the digitally creating stuff, knowing everything fits in the mechanism, but also just weight. you have a lot of creature performers who have to wear something on their head for, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. So trying to make everything as lightweight and comfortable as possible, molded to their faces, has really been quite helpful. This was for a film called Wellwood. It is one of 3 transitional stages of the monster. And this whole underskull was all 3D printed. It was very early on when we started doing a lot of our printing for animatronics, but inside there's PETG servo holders and just a ton of like the whole jaw section is a print, and the brackets that hold the eyes, and we really kind of utilized it for the first time with this project and this head. This is Habib. We did it for a music video, and his whole skull and a lot of the components were all 3D printed. He's kind of a rap buddy, so he just kind of hung around and caused mischief in the music video. Prey is probably the film we've used the most 3D printing on. We have the net balls, all the weapons, of course, so it lights up, and the backpack was a print. We had made a mechanical version of it that actually slides open. And then we have the Prey, the skull mask, which started as a 3D print. All these side components were 3D printed. The inside as well, which I don't know if they actually show the inside in the movie, but it was a 3D print that we cut in and laid over. So the most common thing is we will print the base structure of something pretty simplistic, and then we will hand it off to a sculptor who goes back and refines some of the details and molds it, and then we cast it up in usually a silicone or a urethane, and it gets painted. If it needs hair, it gets hair work done, and it just kind of moves through all the different departments. There are other times where if it's a smaller budget, or if we have a smaller time frame, we're just using a print directly right off the print bed. So a lot of the times we'll take the print, we'll give it a few coats of primer and sand it down and hand it off to paint department, who just works their magic. I see the change of the movie industry using printers as it's kind of like the clear way everything is headed. I know a lot of people were quite resistant about bringing so much technology into it, like CG and other stuff, but I feel like everybody's been adapting to it, and especially when you're doing bulk items or like mass quantities of stuff. I have seen many shops just, really utilizing printers, and I see the way that people are bringing in actors and other stuff, and that makeup appliance fits. That that armor is going to fit on their body because you're using a print that is their body. In my shop, I use Prusa printers. I have my first printer I bought in 2017. That was my personal first printer. We had been playing with an old rip wrap printer that was like a wooden base and bundle of wires, and I just finally couldn't take it, and I ordered the MK2 kit. And I think that's one of the best things I could have done for me personally for my career now, because I built that kit and it really taught me a lot about the fundamental, like how a printer works. So since then, I've gotten the MK3, the MK4, and the XL printer. So it's been a whole family of printers. I love the Prusa XL. It's genuinely something that has made me rethink how I go about my job. It kind of opened up this world of possibilities of, I don't have to slice models as much, for one, which everybody loves, right? I also get to use the multi-material, which has it's insane. It is just truly just such a game changer for our industry, especially for doing mechanical heads. Well, we recently did a mechanical head that we used ASA, we used PLA, we used nylon, we used PETG. We just went through like TPU, every material. I've also been really into the water soluble filament lately. There's been so many prints in the past, if we're doing especially a mechanical part, where we have to split it, which always isn't the best for getting that stability. So having the water soluble filament, I've been getting these like beautiful, just like tubes or, you know, fasteners, and it's been wonderful. My favorite thing about Prusa printers is just the reliability. I feel like for so long, it was always a nervousness where you don't know if you're going to come into the job and have spaghetti. And if you have a client coming in the next morning and you're relying on having a print, you can't have those print failures. And I don't worry anymore. I know I'm always going to get the best quality print every time, and it's just dependable. And customer service, if I've ever had an issue, like my mistake usually has immediately, you know, come to my aid and walked me through something, and it's just been a dream.